Okay, so we're nearing the end of the session, and a lot of what we've been talking about is adding rules and structure to the dogs. I think in this case, the dogs are fighting because basically they're jockeying for position, and the humans really love their dogs, but I don't think have been providing the structure, and so I think the dogs have gradually gotten the impression that they are equals with the humans and with each other, and so now when you're too close to the water bowl, there might be several factors that are contributing to this. But what I want to do is show how we can incorporate a little bit of structure to an everyday task. Adding a little bit of delayed gratification is something you do repetitively, and if you get in a habit of doing it, every time you do it, it's a mini dog obedience training session. So they're excited to go outside. Now we have Taz is not in the room because Taz and Star will get in a fight. So if I go to the door right now to let him out, and so we see the energy, the excitement. If I go try to open the door when the dog's here, then the dog thinks is in front of me. Whoever's in front is in charge. So what I'm going to do is close it, and I'm going to basically use the third consequence to take that territory and walk the dog back. Sits down, I take a step backwards. Can smell the treats I have. Now, going to the door is not one fluid motion. We do it in one fluid motion, but there's actually a lot of little steps. The first step is walking to the door. So if you walk to the door and the dog walks in front of you, because whoever's in front is in charge, that dog gets the impression that it's leading you. So what I would do is I'm kind of blocking. You have a nice little choke point here. So now that they've settled down and they're not, well, Shiloh's still challenging a little bit, and you're supposed to be the most submissive one. Playing, just a stretch. Gonna be LAY, up. So I saw it coming and I headed it off before.
He thinks you're playing.
Yeah. That's why I'm keeping my hips wet. Now we can also use our environment a little bit. I can turn this and block the area a little bit more. Now when I actually go to the door, you were supposed to be the challenge. So I take a step back and they come forward, I take a step back towards them. Now this is the process where it sometimes takes like 5 minutes to do this at first. Now it's not reasonable for us to spend 5 minutes letting a dog out the door each time. But if you spend the time once or twice and they realize they're not playing anymore, and every time I try to get in front of them, because he's excited, I want to go to the door. But that's not working. The human continually blocks me. The human doesn't freak out, it's just not going to happen. Sit. So
the word stay.
Well, in this place, if I give them a command, then they're not following. I just want them to not come here. I don't care what they do. You're just not allowed to come to the door. But tell them to SIT, you can do that, but it's a little bit, if I'm telling them to do something, then it's a little bit different if they're doing it on their own, because it becomes an expected behavior. Sits, and I step backwards. Now, the first couple times when they move back, the dog interprets that as he's giving up space, so I'm going to go take it. So we just go back and forth, and we have to outlast our dog. Now, when I get to the door, ears are very polite. When I get to the door, there's actually several steps. And when I make this sound, I'm guessing that Star's going to charge the door. Went to a straight to a SIT. So I'm breaking down and answering the door in individual steps and helping them practice just this step of hearing this sound and nothing else. Now, because there's a screen door, now, will he bust through the screen door?
If you go to let one out and not the other, then we'll try and...
Okay.
They'll knock you over.
So I can control this environment by, if this is too wide, so I can control, and this is easier for me to defend. Sit. Now, I'm not worried about Shiloh because Shiloh's not your problem. I would do it with all 3 dogs. Sit. Shiloh. Sit. So I was a little bit more physical than I typically want to be, but you know, the nice thing is, again, you can use these sort of things. Your fridge open this way or this way?
This way.
Towards me. Okay. If it opened the other way, you could kind of use this as a little bit of a shield as well. But you can adjust your environment a little bit to control that situation. Now he is bull rushing, and again, I think he's just so used to pushing his way through, pushing his way into your laps, nudging you, telling you what to do. That's just, he doesn't even think about it anymore. That's what he does. So it's going to take you guys defining your personal space, petting him with a purpose, incorporating rules, boundaries, limits. After a while, he's going to start to associate. No longer can I tell them what to do because they don't do it anymore. And they control the resource of going in or out. Now you have a little deck here. The door empties outside, so it might be a little bit hard to get them to sit right here because you have really big dogs. So maybe you just make it just to go outside. Or you can train them to sit down there at the bottom of the steps if you want to. But the whole point of this is, again, this is just one illustration of one way that you can actually control the resource. And after a while, what will happen, the dog will come and sit at the door saying, I'd like to go outside, please. But they're asking us in a polite way.
Well, the towels, I can get them all three to sit right there because the
you
towels,
can? Okay. To wipe them off?
Wipe them off to come back in. So they'll do it for me.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, now that's one of the reasons why we'll talk about this a little bit, is I know you guys have done some. Now, how long have you had Shiloh? Since she was a puppy?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's a little bit of an insecure dog. I was just a little bit concerned because I went over her head and she kind of ducked her eyes, and that's usually indicative of a dog that was struck. So sometimes it's an indication of just a dog that has really low self-esteem and confidence. Now we can teach her some different tricks and commands and boost that self-esteem. Again, that's a great way of using positive reinforcement. If the dog feels insecure, then she's more growly and all those other things. If you teach her like to balance a treat on the nose, that takes a lot of control. So all these different things that you can do to help. For Shiloh, I would try to teach her things to build up her self-esteem and confidence. Just like us when we pass the bar, or we pass a test, or we rebuild an engine, or whatever it was we do, we take pride in it. We feel good. Yeah, I rebuilt that engine myself. You brag about it to your friends. I want Shiloh to have some things that she can feel really good about doing, or he can. Shiloh's a boy, right?
They're all three.
So that he can feel really good about. But this is going to be a little bit of a long video, so I'm going to wrap this up real quick. So basically, every time you go to the door, if they're already here, just come in. If the dog's here, just walk in front and walk that dog back. If you have to, instead of having this chair here, maybe you have something else that's here that blocks it a little bit better. So it makes a small area for you to defend. Keep your hips pointed here. If I go to the door and I walk them back and I turn like this, now my authority is going here. They're going to run right up your butt. So when you get here, wait for them to be stationary, one step back. If the dog starts to come forward, hiss and rush forward at the same time. And the first couple times, because you guys have been letting him kind of power through, you're going to have to spend a lot of time doing it. Now, what you might want to do is just work with one dog at a time. Help that, because it's easier. You can focus on the one dog. Shiloh wasn't a challenge here, but Shiloh wasn't listening as well. You practice with each dog individually, and the dogs know the only way that door is opening is if I sit down for them. So if it takes 10 minutes, the first couple times, it's like a waltz. You're walking back and forth and back and forth. But as soon as you get to the point where you take a step back and the dog sits, and you take another step back, then jiggle the handle. If at any point they come forward, hiss and rush at that dog. And as soon as the dog stops or sits down, we stop. Take another step back. I just pause a half second between each step so that as I'm moving back, the dog can read that he's punctuating. If I just go like this, he's going to come right up to me. So that's why I kind of do the left, right, or right, left, and stop. But keep your hips pointed the whole time. Jiggle the handle of this door. Open it a crack. Next step is I step forward, and I open it behind me. I step into the well. And then tell them to sit. And again, whoever sits gets to go out. Whoever doesn't sit, and then I walk away. And then I'll come back 1 minute later, sit. And if he sits again, then I go through the process. But as soon as that butt gets off the ground, we stop. So this is how we can add a little bit of structure, letting our dogs in and out to help them see us a little bit more as an authority figure.